Hi lads and lasses, Modest Pelican here with Stranded in the Deep, where you get stranded in the deep if you know what I mean. If you enjoy this video, please go and see a movie, and then in the most tense moment, lean forward and scream my channel name directly into the ear of the person in front of you, as this really helps spread the good word of my channel. Okay, first I have to pick a character. I pick this guy because he is a human representation of clinical depression, and given everyone is trapped at home at the moment, I feel it'll be relatable for my audience. It seems like I'm in a private jet using the best laptop from 1985. But there's an empty water glass, so good work staying hydrated there, big girl. Unfortunately, my plane begins crashing into the Pacific Ocean, but at least the pilot is staying remarkably relaxed. How good are Zannies, but yeah, as far as situations go, this is not ideal. I lose consciousness and wake up in this survival raft near an exotic island with one objective: survive. This short tutorial teaches me a few basics, like how to build tools, harvest plant fibers, kill fierce oceanic island beasts, start a wholesome campfire, and most importantly build a crib to bring virtual babes back to. It doesn't look like there's many other humans around, let alone babes, so we might end up making sweet love to a sea cucumber, but hey, at least I can eat it after I'm finished. I rest up and get ready for day 2. Nighttime is really dark, but I decide I want to find a new island to inhabit, as staying on the tutorial island is like being 30 years old and still living in your parents' basement. I mean, how selfish can you be? If you're occupying that space, where are they meant to store the children they abduct? Anyway, I row to my new life, and in the distance I can see what looks like a cargo ship, so I start paddling. It's actually pretty sensational seeing the sun rise out here, but unfortunately I forgot to consider heat stroke, starvation, and ironically dehydration, of which I'm suffering from all of them. I decide to head to a closer island to recharge and hopefully find myself spiritually. This new island is very similar to the previous ones, but it looks like someone else tried to survive here. And it looks like they died. LOL, get wrecked, scrub. I make myself some fresh coconut drinks, which are good for thirst and hold many antioxidants, which reduce the risk of heart disease during later adulthood. Not that important given I'm rapidly dying of heat stroke, but still, a healthy outside starts from the inside. I also managed to find a jerry can of petrol in a crashed boat, which should be good for sniffing, I mean good for powering internal combustion engines. I cook up some more crab meat and set up a camp, but in turn I also begin to learn the concept of this game. You see, these small islands have barely any resources on them, so there's this constant pressure to scavenge. I, however, want to set up a sustainable base somewhere to try and stabilize my health. I find some rations on board the raft, which come in pretty clutch. I proceed to eat them all because I'm a little piggy. Delicious, but not strategic. It's now time for the voyage towards the big cargo ship to see what mysteries it may hold. Did that sound cool? I'm trying to build up some mind-blowing immersion here, and frankly I think I'm doing a 4 out of 10 job. It's a thick boy, there's no doubt about that, and it should hopefully be filled with resources. Also, the water itself is quite dangerous as there's sharks and sea snakes everywhere. In fact, these two sharks are literally inside each other. Let's be real for a second. Shark erotica is way hotter than a sea cucumber fetish. I don't know if I could set up a base here as there's no trees or plants. As I explore the ship further, it actually becomes apparent that there's nothing of use here at all, which is more unexpected than when one of the lads sent a dick pic to the group chat by accident, but then said it wasn't an accident. Finally, at the very top, I find a plane that needs repairing and could be our way of escaping this predicament. I also get tempted to send it and find myself facing the age-old dilemma. Do I take the stairs down for survival, or send it into shark-infested water for the lads and lasses? Obviously, I couldn't jump, just kidding, I take risks and I'm a bad boy. Every time I have sex, I don't use protection, and then I get a tattoo of a naked girl on me straight afterwards. I currently have no tattoos on my body, but still, my intentions are savage. As I'm about to leave, a storm rolls in, and normally I assume a stranded lad such as myself would wait it out, but that's a luxury I can't afford right now. I try not to feel regretful about my past, but I simply shouldn't have eaten all the rations. I'm also literally and metaphorically thirsty right now, but hey, at least I don't have sunstroke, so pending drowning in this storm could be worse. It then gets dark, so yeah, it got worse. Fortunately, the storm passes and I arrive at land and there's another shipwreck. I better try and loot this thing for food or anything really, as I'm on the ropes here. I don't find food, but I find engine parts and some leather, so I guess I could make a pair of trendy dress shoes and look good while I'm dying. As I'm about to beach the raft, a tiger shark knocks me into the water, so I panic and swim for land. Jesus, but at least I'm not sick, I guess. Just kidding, a snake that I didn't see bites my face and I'm now poisoned. Alright, so new year, new me. I've got a small camp set up and this island is far bigger. So yeah, it should be a good place to call home for a while. I wonder how quickly I'd die if I was marooned on an island in real life. I suppose it would depend on how many people were trapped with me. If there were say 3 of us, I'd act all friendly at first, but then on the first night, boom, cannibalism. You see, I'm an okay guy in small doses, but after a week of the other 2 hearing my questionable penis jokes, I know they're going to eat me first. I don't want to be 2v1'd, so I just get in early and kill and eat them before cannibalism was even a topic of conversation. In business, this is called being an early adapter and separates industry leaders from those who become irrelevant, or become food. Anyway, my camp is coming along quite nicely and my vitals are starting to stabilize. But then unfortunately the snake bites me yet again. Wow, that's a huge mistake. I can't believe I just forgot about that dodgy reptilian Malacca. I managed to construct a water still so I can now gather fresh H2O, but unfortunately I'm still rapidly dying from a double dose of poison. I need to find some medication ASAP, so I enter the ocean to explore the shipwreck. I find everything but medication, from binoculars to lanterns, but unfortunately the poison gets me and I die. And I think also simultaneously drown. A Modest Pelican survival game mastermind. The shelters you construct allow you to save your game, but I accidentally tactically strategically saved the game at a point where I'm about 8 minutes from dying of poison. I discover you can craft an antidote using papaya plants, and there are none on this island. So in one of the most stunning and brave gaming moments of 2020, I set off in my raft once again to a neighbouring island. By what I can only assume is divine intervention from God himself, as a way of thanking me for educating the good people of YouTube via this Christian music channel, I find the 2 papaya plants needed and craft the much needed antidote. My health is scary low, but at least I can live out another day. Just kidding, all this time finding the cure has made me severely dehydrated. I attempt to drink several coconuts but keep getting diarrhea, which makes me more dehydrated and eventually I die from this. I go back to my checkpoint, but I also sometimes die from crabs biting me. I'm that weak. It's not looking good, Chief. I'm in an endless cycle of reloading my game and then dying just like Kim Jong-un died yesterday, so I'll have to restart. That reference isn't funny and I don't even know if he's actually even dead. Poor Kimmy bro. All he wanted to be was a supreme dictator and have a few dozen nuclear weapons, but apparently that's not kosher. Alright, whatever, I accept my death, and yes I may have lost everything, but in death I've gained the most powerful weapon of all, knowledge. If anyone ever points an AK-47 at your face, simply flex your knowledge for the win. Start rattling off facts about the shaft-tailed finch and they'll be so overwhelmed they'll shoot themselves in the head instead. Okay, round 2, and this time instead of seeing a big ship and just heading straight there, I'll focus a bit more on survival. I think the reason I've been so addicted to this game is because there's always constant pressure. You see, actually setting up and becoming completely self-sufficient is hard. You have to always move locations. Some smaller plants grow back, but if you chop down the trees and collect the rocks, the island becomes completely depleted. It's almost as if these islands are a metaphor for what humans are doing in the real world. Just kidding, the planet can go f itself. Modest Pelican Gaming is sponsored by Big Business. If Greta Thunberg shouts me and the boys a round of beers though, I'll change my tune. You see, the subliminal messaging in my videos can literally be bought by the highest bidder, because that's what being an online influencer is all about. I find torches, hammers, and even a flare gun which I shoot up into the air in the hope that someone comes to save me, but no one shows up. It's my year 12 formal all over again. I decide that the yellow raft is old news and proceed to begin construction on a new raft that I eloquently name Boaty McBoatface. The plan for this boat is to be faster, bigger, and be able to carry supplies so I can rule the land and the seas. I dream of too being a dictator, just like the late Kim Jong-un. After many hours of scavenging and building, I create a boat that isn't actually able to stand up, so yeah, pretty disappointing. After many more hours, I get it standing and am ready for its maiden voyage. And a maiden voyage it is, as I sail out into the sunset once again. The rudder is on the wrong side, but honestly, if I have to gather another plant fiber, I'll probably swim out into the ocean with the intention of being eaten by a shark or drowning, just like the Asian tourists visiting Australia. I reach another island, and this will be where I set up the best base the Pacific Ocean has ever seen. Feeling optimistic and excited, I proceed to get bitten by a snake and poisoned again because I couldn't see in the dark. I genuinely want a KMS. I eventually do bounce back and build myself a little beach shack of sorts. Not exactly the best base ever seen, but it's something. So yeah, if you ignore the fact that I'm currently starving to death, I think I have a real handle on Stranded Deep. Obviously it's not for everyone, but I love survival games and wanted to bring you something a bit different. Stranded Deep really makes you feel like you're the one getting diarrhea and dying of poison. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. You guys are genuinely such legends. Thanks for watching, and a massive thanks to those who support the channel on Patreon. Until next time, and as always, stay classy.